and welcome to Georgie's Gundogs at Trails for Tails Dog Training. Yes, we're coming up. So, hello everyone. Right, what are you doing? As you can see, what did I tell you? I had a new arrival. Everybody, meet Jimmy. Oh, good boy. Yes, thank you. Right, okay. Got something for you to chew. Okay, so obviously I'd like to say again thank you to my new subscribers. Great to hear some of you are enjoying the videos and you're training and loving the interactions with you, which is absolutely fantastic. Really enjoying having the chats with you guys. So I really appreciate it, so thank you very much. And it's really nice to hear you guys out and about doing your thing with your dogs, getting out there training and enjoying my videos and saying, you know, you're getting some good stuff from it. So that's all I can want from this, okay? So in this video, obviously this is the first one of many puppy videos I'm going to do, as well as the other videos. So those who have the older dogs, please don't be concerned. It's not just going to be puppy stuff, it is also going to be for the older dogs as well. But I wanted to introduce you to little Jimmy, tell you a little bit about him, how his 2 weeks have been, how I've set him up, introduce him to other dogs, getting the house ready, being aware of things like play biting, toilet training, and even starting a little bit of his training really. It's quite a long video, but it's good for people who are getting new puppies or just have got a puppy and you're trying to set some stuff up for success with them really, because it can be a challenging time, it can be a magical time, but at the same time it can be really hard. So this is Jimmy. Here he is. Oh yes, there he is, my cheeky boy. He is cheeky, he's mischievous. Oh, there he is. Yes, he is. He's a good lad. Right, so this is Jimmy. Yes, you. Thank you. He is my next working cocker that I've just took on. Hopefully to trial him. We'll see how he gets on. If not, either way, he will be beating dog. That's what happened to all my trialing dogs. We will just enjoy beating. But that is the plan with him. I have specifically picked what certain lines he is for the job in hand, which is trialing, but we shall see how he gets on. He is a very big character, he's very bold, he's feisty, he's probably the most sharkiest puppy I've ever had. He's a little shark, he's like that all the time. That doesn't concern me, that is normal puppy behaviour, it's nothing for me to be worried about, or you guys worry. So if you've got a mouthy puppy, it is very, very normal, okay? There's very rare cases in the time that you would say you could look into things like diet, over exercise, because a lot of time when puppies are play biting, it's usually tired, but I'll get on to that in a minute. So he is 12 weeks old Friday. I've only had him a couple of weeks. I picked him up later due to home life wasn't normal. I.e. my dad was over, so ideally when I get a puppy, I want it to be as normal as my life would be when that puppy arrives, because I don't want anything too stressful that could be too unsettling for a puppy with its new arrival, because let's think they're leaving the mother and it's a big time for them, change and stuff like that. Not like he's been bothered, and neither was Sid, but you try to make it as easy and comfortable and nice for them to settle in as possible, and a nice association really. We want them to have a nice experiences, because at this stage in their learning, they are soaking up everything up, so it's really important they experience as good things as they can in the early stages of their learning and their age. So I was really fortunate. I had a dear friend who looked after him for a couple of weeks, did a fantastic job with him, Dave, so I really appreciate that. So he was in really good hands for 2 weeks. I couldn't have him, so I knew he was fine. I don't think Dave wanted to give me him back, which I appreciate in a weird way. It's like good, he's obviously that you like him, because Dave's a good knows his dogs. So he did really well there. We brought him home, so introduced him to my spaniel boy Siddy, the one you see on the videos. We introduced him on my field because he's a busy boy in the house. It might be all too much for him. Well, to say they built a relationship is an understatement. They are inseparable. So I train separately anyway, so they'll be trained separately anyway. But in the house, they absolutely adore each other. They cuddle each other. They play with each other. I couldn't ask for a better thing, really. The terriers, I know how they would be. They looked at him. They went, oh, another dog, right, great, like that. Oh, hello, and walked off. And they just are what they are. They just see him and go, yeah, whatever. And if he gets in the face or anything, they're pretty quick on him. So he's learnt pretty quick, don't believe the terriers be. Well, that's terriers be, they won't tolerate. But him and Sid have really developed a lovely relationship. Like I said, we did it at the field, nice neutral ground. Let Puppy explore first, let him go, and slowly brought Sid in. So Sid came over nice and gently, well, gently, bit of a bull, but he didn't knock him or anything like that. He paused really nicely, because the thing what I've been fortunate with Sid is really good with people. He's really good with people. He's really good. He's a very kind dog. He might be bloody well driven, but my God, is he kind? He's patient, and he's just a good soul. And he's been really good with Puppy. It did blow his mind on the first day a little bit. It's like, oh my God, this is great. I've got a new playmate. But apart from that, he settled down and he just loved him, and Jimmy loves him as much. So I couldn't ask for a better relationship. I want my boys to be a good partnership, you know, because there might be times I have to work them together for whatever reason, and it's also good for their training to learn to watch each other work later down the line. Obviously, I'm not saying now. So that was really good. At home I have a crate, so I have an overnight crate, and then I have a puppy pen. So my overnight crate is just for sleeping at night. And I have a puppy pen, which is a bigger area, which is their area. Let's talk about the puppy pen first. So the puppy pen is a fantastic tool. It's somewhere that I like to put puppies when I'm busy or I've got things to do, and I don't want Puppy to get into situations where I maybe unwanted behaviour being practiced, or two, biting, eating things that I might not want them to chew or eat, or might not be dangerous. So it's somewhere that they can go, and it's also somewhere, especially when you've got a multi-dog household, that the other dogs can get a break, because sometimes puppies don't know when to give up or settle. They just don't have that skill. So do not expect puppies to come in your house and go, why won't it sleep or lie on its bed? He hasn't learnt that skill yet, okay? It's just adjusting. So by having a pen, I have a nice place I can make nice associations with, where they can have somewhere that they can sleep, have quiet time. My other dogs can have quiet time. I can get on with things. They can have things to chew in there. So I like to have, like you can see here. So this is like a hoof, okay, an antler. He likes to chew things like this. He's a real biter and likes to really chew. So was Sid, to be honest. So I've got him options that he can take out that chewing on. It's so important they always have things to chew on. What I don't do is leave things around on the floor. If he's not using, I pick it up, so it keeps the value of it. And it's the same with the pen. If he's not using it or he's out the pen, I just leave it in the pen so he can't get at it until he's in the pen. Like I had a nice I have blankets in my pen, or nice little mats. The reason being I don't put a bed in is because you're likely, if there's an accident, it's easier to clean. A lot of times if you put a bed in, beds are quite big and clunky and they're just a pain to clean. So for me, I like to use nice blankets that I can change all the time if they have an accident. It's nice, and whip it up. I also have him on tiled floor, and the reason is the puppy pen's on tiled floor, I can clean it. If you do have carpet and you don't have that type of flooring, you can get a rubber matting for the bottom of your pen, so that's easy to clean as well. So do think about stuff like that. Like I said, it's a great place also to teach a bit of independence. You know, I don't want the puppy clinging to me all the time. It's like, I don't want that, like they can't be away from me or with me all the time. It teaches them a bit about separation, that they can watch me. I have the puppy pen in where my most used rooms are. So for me, it's in a nice quiet place, but yes, I walk past it at times in between the kitchen and living room, but I can see from both, and they're the rooms I'm mainly in, so I can keep an eye if needed. Like I said, you always want things that are there then to chew on. I sometimes even get them to do a bit of recycling, like cardboard, plastic bottles, but again, I check that they're safe for them to chew on, nothing that they can swallow on. But sometimes they like sometimes you can buy the fanciest toys, but they like the most simplest things, hence a plastic bottle. They love running around and knocking, they love the noise of it. So that's the pen area. It's also good for when they're overtired, hence we're getting into the play biting now. So if they they're quite mouthy and stuff, and you're doing all your other options, which we'll talk about, it's somewhere that I can just put them and go, okay, right, you got a little time out, here's something for you else to chew, you're not chewing me or chewing everyone else. Lightly, they will go to sleep. With play biting, one of the most common reasons why you can get bad is overtired. People keep puppies on the go too long. It's like after this conversation, I wanted to do some training, but because we're doing the video, even though he sat here doing nothing and chewing and watching, this will be mentally tiring for him, so I'll put him to bed. So play biting is common. It's also normal. Puppies use their mouths, okay? Puppies use their mouths to explore, to play, to invest everything, right? It is normal dog behaviour. They are not doing it, let's say, to dominate you and all that. They are not, okay? They are just learning their way through life. We have just got to teach them, okay? Biting's not quite appropriate in human, okay? We don't want you biting on it. He's a little sharp. I've never had a shark like it, but I'm not bothered by it. That's why I think he gives up biting me half the time. But I teach him when he wants to sit with me, like I've got something on my lap now, he can chew on it. Okay, I'm losing old Chevy chews and I'm not too bothered, right? I'm not having a go, no, right? Because at the end of the day, some of the dogs, you do that, trust me. You do no, and you do loud noises and that, you'll have them coming back at your temples. Try doing that with a terrier and let me know how you get on, right? For me, I give them I am catching them before they are practicing that unwanted behaviour. So I give them things to chew. If you want to lie with me, here's something to chew. Because actually, they probably don't want to be over manhandled. Puppies don't like it. That's why they bite a lot. Especially like if you have kids and stuff. Kids want to play with the puppy, but the puppy might be a little bit overwhelmed. You know, I let him come to me sort of thing, and he does. And when he does, then I know he's wanting to have like that engagement, that stroke with me. But if he's not, then I just leave him be and I give him something else to do. Okay, I want to build a relationship of trust here, not that I'm always manhandling him. The only time I carry him about a bit is if we're going to do it toileting and that. So I have things for him to chew on. I also teach auto sit straight off the bat. So when he approaches me and he looks at me, he starts offering me a sit instead of, i.e. biting me pants. If he does bite me pants, it's one of them things. To be honest, I just carry on walking, he just gives up. I'm not saying do that, by the way. Don't forget, right? I am used to this. This is my lifestyle, right? But if I know that if it became, you know, most of the time what I do is when he's on the approach to me, because I've got the auto sit, he doesn't bother. He did a little bit at the beginning and he doesn't bother. I also try and not wear flowy clothes around the place all the time with the young puppy because they're going to grab onto it. It's moving. It looks fun. It looks like a toy, right? So I think about what I'm wearing in the presence while the puppy's out. But like I said, if I've taught these auto sits and that, they will offer that instead of chewing me. Right, so you've got to be proactive. Like I said, if they get too bitey or nothing's working, you go into bed for a bit, and that is the boundaries we've got to be taught, right? So it's all about setting puppy up for success, rewarding nice calm behaviour. Okay, so when he is doing stuff good or giving me auto sits, I've always got a bit of food somewhere, right? And he's not fat, by the way, and I'm rewarding him for making that choice, right, and not losing the plot or approaching me nicely. I am giving him feedback. That is what I want from you, okay? So then let's get on to toilet training. Right, so to have successful toilet training, you've got to be on the ball. You've got to be up and down like a yo-yo for a bit, right? It is the way it is. It's probably the most tiring part, I would say, not the sleeping or anything like that. I would say toilet training, because we have to be on top all the time. So after they've chewed, after they've played, after they've read, after they've ate, after they've slept, after they've done anything, after they got out of the car, after they've been on a walk, anything, yes, you go in for a wee, you go in toilet, right? And I like to you have to be on top. Every time you do, I am making a massive fuss about it. I wait till they've done the business, then I reward them with a bit of food and a bit of a celebration, right? So it drives them more wanting to fly outside. If they do go outside, I do not shout at them inside. That is an accident. If I shout at them, all I will do is get a puppy that'll go off and start hiding because it's worried about toileting. I just say nothing. No rewards come for that, right? I just clean the area up with a solution. Okay, a puppy solution. I clean the area up. I carry on with my thing. The big stuff comes out. You get the rewards if you go outside. Yeah, there are going to be times you're going to miss the ball, so don't have a go at the puppy if you've not had I've done it when I've been busy with something. Okay, puppy just turned around, thought about something, or something's distracted me. Boom, puppy's gone. It's normal. Okay. So again, don't beat yourself up about it, and certainly don't have a go at puppy about it, right? Because they don't know how to control it yet. Their bladder muscles haven't developed yet. Okay, that will come with time and skill. And the more we do reward them outside, the more they run out. He's even starting to now, as soon as I open that back door, run to the area. Because I've got Indian tone, not all dogs like to toilet on hard surfaces. So I've got some tiled AstroTurf. So I put 3 out, and he usually goes on there. So we keep, and now he's starting to run, and that's where he does all his businesses on there, and I just keep rewarding it. So it drives him back to that area, the same spot, reward, same spot where he goes to toilet, reward. And now he's pretty much flying out there, okay? Don't get me wrong, there'll be times I probably still miss him. It's life. So that's a little bit about the toilet training. So we've got the play bite in that. Also, people ask me, when to start training your puppy? Well, I've started from day one. Training isn't just about teaching exercise. Training is about how you want them to behave in the home, giving them options, how teaching them skills. Like I said, toilet training, right? Play biting, not biting you, training. Appropriately doing things around the house, i.e. coming up to you and all that, training. For me, I teach sit mini weights for their food. And I personally hand feed part of their dinner food, lunch, breakfast and dinner. Half of that food bowl with whatever I'm feeding them, I hand feed, and I do something with that puppy, because you're only going to be there five minutes or so. It's not too long for puppy. It builds value in food, especially with working dogs who might not be, i.e. spaniels. And it's bonding. So I hand feed a lot of my food. Now I don't hand feed for the day, I hand feed at meal time, because I think that's cruel if you hand feed for the day. That's a lot. The dog would never be ever full and satisfied, and you'd probably have a quite anxious dog. So I hand feed breakfast, lunch and dinner. Half of it I do a little bit of training, so he's been doing a little bit of place board, tiny little bit, auto sits, connection, just sitting by my side a little bit, and even a bit of recall training. Now I don't do that all in the one session. I pick a couple, and that's what we work on. So I've been teaching him that. But again, it's that bonding, it's that little, I can chip away at the training. So for me, I train my puppy like you don't even realise from the minute it comes in. From the minute it comes in, and especially like, and I also find, especially because I've got boys, if I don't do anything for 6 months and then adolescent sits and starts asking them to train, you could have a bloody well nightmare. You can have a teenager who's just had 6 months of practice unwanted behaviour because you said, let it be a puppy, but give it nothing. And then all of a sudden you're going to rein it in at 6 months. That's not my personal preference. I know I will get through adolescence easier if I've got some solid foundations, okay? I'm not doing fancy stuff with the pups at this age. I am just doing the foundation stuff, working on them, solidifying them. Wouldn't recommend them jumping off you, by the way. But he is like a flea, aren't you? You're like a flea, mister. So yeah, so I start my training early. And I'm a great believer. It's called little and often, like what we call kettle training. Stick the kettle on, do a little bit. But for me, I've got that meal times. He also comes to work from me. So I do a little bit, 5 minutes in the field with him and Sid. So they get used to sort of working together. Very simple stuff like learning name recognition and stuff like, so he doesn't jump on Sid for food and stuff like that. Then what I do is I might take Sid out, he goes for a little nap, and then I'll put him away and Sid comes out, so he's learning that skill as well. I'm also doing car work, so I don't want him flying out, so he's learning not to jump through as the door opens, you know, like I do with the pen and the crate. So all that is training, right? You know, I'm teaching these skills because I don't want to be if I just go, yeah, give him back, say, yeah, fly over it, yeah, do nothing. What's he learning? Right? What are we teaching that puppy? That you can just go bloody free rein for 6 months, right? And then all of a sudden you're going to ask me to do all this stuff when adolescence and my testosterone kicks in or my hormones kick in, whatever. Not my thing. And also if you do, you're likely to go harder by doing that. And I don't want that, okay? That's not how I personally train. So for me, also sleeping, let's quickly forget that. It's a long video, this. Sleeping. He has done really well naturally with that. I was very fortunate, like I said, he went with my friend for the first 2 weeks, but he said he didn't. So some puppies will naturally just go into the crate, they'll naturally sleep really well. And then some will struggle, some will be a bit more struggly. So there's some puppies you'll have to sleep by for a little bit to build their confidence, to build their trust up, and you can move them away. So some people have the crate in the bedroom and then you move them away slowly out the bedroom, down all the way down. Some people sleep with them downstairs for a couple of weeks and then move away. It's whatever your puppy is feeling. If I've got a really bad one, I'm going to have to support that puppy. I've been very fortunate, touch wood, that I haven't needed to do that. He has not made an eyelid, and actually he doesn't sleep. He sleeps quite a long time as well. I mean, you must know that I like alone. There will be, if I had got him at 8 weeks though, because I know he was sleeping through a day, I'd pretty sure he'd do it. But if I got him from 8 weeks, I would have got up in the middle of the night and weed him. So I might have gone to bed at 11 or something, got up at 3, 2, let him out, pull him back, because I know their bladder, just while they settled, and then move time forwards, because them young ones sometimes get in the middle of the night, just makes them go through a bit long, and you can then build the strength on the bladder. Because don't forget, with toilet training or anything like that, they haven't got the strength as yet. Okay, I personally, depending on the weather, don't put a water bowl in night with them, and the reason being is I find if they have constant access to water, they will likely have an accident as well. And they've all been fine with it, right? If it's hot, mind you, and I feel the weather is warm, even in the house, no matter how cool I'm trying to do it, then yes, I will, because at the end of the day, and I wouldn't even cover it, because I usually cover the grate as well, so I make it like a den. But I would, because I would lift that up and keep it cool and make sure they have. But at the moment, he's fine. He literally, I watch him, he just goes in, gets paid for going in as well, a little treat before he goes to bed. He goes in and he crashes, all right? So that's how we do. If I hear any noise at night, which I haven't done, it depends on the puppy. Some, you know, would I go down or not? Does that puppy need a toilet? You have to consider, because we do have to be careful with whining and stuff like that. So like with him in the pen, I know when I sometimes first put him, he has a little whine. Now that's because he's overtired, he wants to come out. Before you know it, they'll flop. So you have to read the puppy, really. Those at night, it might be you've left them too long or expecting them, but you've got to be careful, because you might get them who, if you get up every time they whine, before you know it, you'll have a problem. So it's finding the reasons why they're whining first, and that's why sometimes it's good having a camera if you do have one of them, see what's going on. Do they need a toilet? Okay, because if you know roughly when they're going to do it, get earlier up and get them out and then pull them back to sleep. Those in the morning who might be prone to whining, he doesn't particularly prone to whining. Get up a bit early when you usually roughly know when they might go. Get up a bit earlier, toilet, put them back to bed. Yeah, so that they don't always think, oh, I get up and I get out and I do all that. What are you doing, mister? You doing well? You good boy? You good boy? Oh, lovely auto sit. See, that's what I'm talking about. You didn't see it, but wasn't it? Okay, so that's, I've done a really long video. I know, well, I do a lot of long videos, but I wanted to have a chat to you about basically what I've been doing in these early stages and how I set things up. And if you have any questions about puppies, please get in touch. It's, you know, I know it's not an easy stage, but you've got to enjoy it, and always remember they're babies. So don't expect to have this in control dog by the time you've had it there 1 week. It won't do this, it won't do that. My God, it's just been on the planet 10 weeks. So be bloody patient. You've got to be patient in the first year, let alone the first puppy stages, because they are babies. And they are babies then going into teenagers. They are in development stages. We have to be patient. And also with him, my biggest thing is with puppies is I like to get them about and I'll habituate them to the world. I don't obsess about socialising with other dogs. I'm very passionate about this one now. I don't want to create problems of a dog that's going to run up to every dog. So for me, I do that very carefully. I'm selective on particular dogs, but I think I will discuss a video on socialisation and habituation in separately, because otherwise I'll be going on for ages, because I am passionate about things. So for me, it's just at the moment settling him in, bonding with him with me, and taking him on nice experiences and stuff like that. Started my training as soon as he gets in, with life of my house and little bits of other stuff. So yeah, and I'm really enjoying him, and I hope this video has helped those who have just got a puppy and might be a bit unsure. The best thing I can say is be patient, don't get mad. All right, if you're unsure, speak to somebody who's a professional. Okay, if you're unsure you're doing the right thing, don't get mad at them. They are babies. They don't know any better. It's our job to be their teacher. It's our job to guide them in life, right? So you have to be patient. You can't get mad at this little thing that's been on the planet, like I said, a few weeks. Like, it's ridiculous. So be patient with them. Be their teacher. Guide them. And you'll get tenfolds back for it, okay? And bloody well laugh. because you don't have them as a puppy long and they're going to give you some funny things. I've got him, he's a little feisty thing, and he makes me on his little flake and half jump from things, right? And I have to watch that. But he makes me laugh, and I'm patient with him. I look at you and go, you're a baby, and I've got to take my time with you, okay? And I'm a trainer, I'm fanatic, but I still always put in the back of my mind, baby needs sleep. Baby needs to be a baby. I need to take my time with him, enjoy him, and don't get mad when there are things that they are that they are doing, i.e. chewing things, stuff like that. So yeah, just be patient. And like I said, so coming up we will talk about things, about carrying things, you know, because puppies carry things and stuff like that. I might have a video about that. I will get some training videos up about what I start teaching puppies. Also we will cover habituation and socialization, because that is an important one. Everybody wants to talk about that, so we must talk about that. And like I said, starting the puppy journey and stuff like that, and little things, how I teach pups things. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the episode. Okay, I know there's not much training in it as such, but I wanted to talk through a little bit. I probably will think, oh my god, I missed out on many things, but I can easily bring them into the videos. Like I said, other videos will be coming for you other guys who don't have young puppies. They videos with progression of other exercises that we've already taught, and then obviously some new stuff that you guys want to get cracking, so that will be coming up. All right, so thank you again, guys. Thanks for joining me. I will speak to you all soon. All right, everybody, see you later. Bye.